Hello everyone, my name is Hansa Camila, and in this video I'll be talking about how to actually find your interest. So, have you ever felt like everyone around you already knows what they're interested in, except you? Well, maybe one of your friends is super into basketball, another loves drawing, and someone else is already learning how to code or edit videos. And then there's you, thinking, I don't really have a thing. Well, it can feel uncomfortable or even stressful, and you start wondering if you're behind, if maybe you're just not as talented or as passionate as other people. So you wait. You hope that one day something will suddenly click and you'll finally discover your interest. But here's the truth that most people don't talk about. Interests are rarely discovered. They are developed. We grow up hearing advice like follow your passion or do what you love. Well, it sounds motivating, yeah, sure, but it can actually create pressure because what if you don't know what you love yet? It makes it seem like passion is something already inside you, fully formed, just waiting to be uncovered. But for most people, that's not how it works. Passion usually comes after effort. It comes after trying, failing, improving, and sticking with something long enough to see progress. One of the biggest reasons students struggle to find their interest is because they quit too early. Well, the beginning of learning anything is awkward. When you first try public speaking, you feel nervous. When you first try coding, your program doesn't work and you don't know why. When you first try drawing seriously, it looks nothing like what you imagined. That early stage feels uncomfortable, and our brains don't like feeling incompetent. So we stop. We tell ourselves, maybe this just isn't for me. But most of the time, it's not a lack of interest. Instead, it's a lack of patience. So, being bad at something is not a sign you shouldn't do it. It's a sign you just started. Another mistake people make is confusing entertainment with engagement. Watching videos about something can make you feel interested. You might watch cooking videos and think, this is cool. You might see tech reviews and think, gadgets are interesting. You might scroll past art content and feel inspired, but watching is passive. Real interest grows when you participate, when you actually cook the meal, when you build something with your own hands, when you practice the skill instead of just observing it. There's a huge difference between thinking something looks interesting and investing effort into it. There's also the fear of commitment. Some students don't try deeply because they're afraid of choosing wrong. They think, what if I put time into this and later realize it's not my passion? But here's something important. No effort is wasted. Even if you switch later, the discipline, problem solving, skills, and experience you gain still with you. Trying something seriously teaches you about yourself. Avoiding everything teaches you nothing. Interest usually develops in layers. First, there's curiosity. Something catches your attention. Then there's exploration. You try it out, maybe in a small way. Then comes frustration. You realize that it's harder than you thought. And this is the critical point. Most people stop here, but if you continue past frustration, you start experiencing progress. And progress is powerful. When you notice that you're slightly better than last week, your confidence grows. You start thinking, maybe I can actually do this. That feeling of improvement is often what transforms mad curiosity into genuine interest. Skill and interest are deeply connected. The more skilled you become, the more options you see within that field. At the beginner level, something might seem repetitive, but as you improve, you start noticing creativity, strategy, and deeper challenges. What once looked simple become complex and exciting. That depth only reveals itself after effort. If you want something practical, try using a structured approach. So instead of randomly jumping from one thing to another, try choosing one area and commit to it for a fixed period, like maybe for 30 days. And during those 30 days, treat it seriously. Practice consistently, set small measurable goals, reflect on what you're learning and keep track of improvement. And at the end of the 30 days, ask yourself an honest question. Did I improve? Did I enjoy the process of improving? Do I feel curious to explore this further? And if the answer is yes, continue. But if the answer is no, then move on to something else with the same level of seriousness. This way, you're not just drifting, you're experimenting with purpose. It is also important to understand that you don't need to have everything figured out now, especially if you're still in school. This stage of life is meant for exploration. You have access to subjects, clubs, competitions, online resources, and communities. You can try science, art, or maybe sports, technology, writing, leadership, and more. The goal isn't to instantly find the one thing you'll do forever. The goal is to build experience that help you understand what energizes you and what drains you. Another helpful shift is changing the question you ask yourself. So instead of asking, what am I passionate about? Try asking, what problems do I enjoy solving? Or what kind of challenges do I find satisfying? Well, sometimes interest isn't about the activity itself, but about the type of thinking involved. Do you like building things, explaining ideas, organizing systems, computing, helping others? Paying attention to what naturally holds your focus can give you clues. And remember, interests can evolve. What you enjoy at 13 might not be the same at 20. And that's okay. You're not choosing your entire life right now. You're building direction step by step. Every skill you develop expands your options. Every project you complete strengthens your confidence. And over time, patterns start to appear. You'll notice certain themes in what you're drawn to. That's how clarity slowly forms. And at the end of the day, finding your interest isn't about waiting for inspiration. It's about taking action. It's about being willing to be a beginner. It's about giving something enough time to reveal its depth. Passion is not a lightning strike that suddenly hits you. It's more like a fire you build slowly, adding small pieces of effort every day. So, if you feel like you don't have an interest yet, don't panic. Don't label yourself as lost. Instead, commit to exploring with intention. Choose something, practice it consistently, reflect on your growth, then adjust if needed. Interest grows where effort goes. You don't find your interest by thinking about it. You find it by building it. And maybe that's all from me. Thank you very much for watching my video. Plus I say, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.